Back to the story of the lost princess. Now, the last time he ended up going on a derech on the side. That is, the tzaddik emes had to take a different way. We have to think about this tzaddik emes. The tzaddik emes wants to teach us how to be a tzaddik emes. He took a path to the side road. The side road led him to this fort with all these soldiers with a big palace on the inside. We understand that he's getting someplace. What do you mean by a side road? The road that other people make fun of, the road people say they can't take you anyplace. Because what this person is not looking for, he's not looking for status. He's not looking for friends. He's not looking to belong to something or to be a part of something. He's looking for his neshama. It's not easy to do, especially amongst other people that everybody's got different neshama, everybody got different agenda. We tend to group up and lump ourselves up into different groups. Well, this person took an individual derech. Maybe Tikkun Elevator is an individual derech. Maybe Breslov is an individual derech, a derech from the side. What's your definition of a derech from the side? So at any rate, he comes to this fort. He decides that he's going to go in. He argues with himself, and he strengthens himself. And he's going to go in and try to find, in the midst of this place, this beautiful, beautiful place, very seductive place, he's going to try to find the lost princess. So then the Rav says, so there's Rabbeinu HaKodesh says, V'hishir as hasus shezeh haguf. So he leaves his horse behind. So what is that? That's his body. Because he realizes if he's going there, there's a neshama there, but he can't find it. He says he's going to have to start looking the other direction, away from building up his body, satisfying his bodily needs. But a person who girds himself in order to conquer the Yetzer Hara, and so that's hiding and covering over his soul. He hardly sense it. Allah Azov is a goof, so he has to abandon his body, that is his bodily needs, and start to really preoccupy himself and worry about his neshama. And if a person really thinks like that, he'll find his neshama. I said that already. He'll have a tremendous revelation of godliness that he'd be able to find inside of himself. So that also, in the end, the physicality of his body will also become incorporated into his neshama, and his neshama will dominate that part. Rabbeinu Zal says this in L'Kuti Maran, Chelik Aleph Semin Kapes. So he brings a pasuk from Yeshaya, "B'besarcho lo tesalam," and from your from your flesh you will not be hidden. Shelo ta'alim enachem elarachem al besarcho. Now, what's he going to say here? He says, he explains, that shouldn't hide from your eyes the rachmanis that you have to have for your body. What does this mean? So he says, Hainu basar guf, the flesh of a person's body, l'rachem alav, l'rov l'zachako, to look at it, to really see it, and to examine it, and to work on trying to refine it. So that he can actually be able to feel and appreciate through himself all the things that his neshama can see and feel. Because your body is dampening every possibility, but then if you have rachmanis on that body, you could bring it towards the neshama so that it can sense the things that the neshama can see. The neshama of every person, he roa maseges tame devarim el yoni ma'od, because it's in contact with the Most High. It's a chelik from the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. So he said, but the body is dense, doesn't know about them. That's the nature of the way that Hashem made us. So therefore, he says you have to have pity on your body. So excuse me, so he has to look and be able to refine his body, so the body can work in conjunction with his neshama. So that your body, that is your ears and your eyes and your nose, and all your physical 248 parts, let's say, all of them can appreciate what the neshama could see. Let me see. As a sufa goose. So he said, "Bisari acheza aloha." So this is a phrase that I've said several times, slightly different context from my body. So once I get my body that's in tune to my neshama, then I can see using my physical attributes godliness. For the chain hasheni the melech hisher is a goof shuha. So therefore, he's going to abandon bodily pleasures, and he's going to start looking for his neshama. V'holad the mibsar, so he goes to the fort. V'hoya memanichim oisechu v'lo yikvuhu klal. So they let him in. That didn't bother them. Ki be'emes im ha'adam machlit yihye masha yihye hu muchrach lachsa b'tshuva shalema. So if a person makes a choice, sooner or later, the person will want to come back in tshuva. He says, with a complete tshuva. V'limso es nishmaso av sheyesh alav chomos v'chelos, and work hard to try to find his neshama, even though that he has walls around it, and he has different armies that keep him away. Shehim dimyona shel shah, because these are really his imagination. They're keeping us away. Our imagination makes us think that what we need for our bodies is the most important thing. But in the end, if a person really wants to get in touch, he'll find a way to be able to make sure that the dimyonas don't keep him away. But the sof yanatsav yavur. In the end, he'll have success, and he'll be able to pass through all of it. So he went from one chamber in the palace, one room, into the next, and nobody bothered him. So a person really starts to reach his emunah, and he has faith that he will get there. So he says, Sham yesh heichlos v'chadarim. So he'll find that there's all different kinds of rooms that he passes through. And so he'll go from one room to the next room, and one palace to the next palace. And as he enters into this, again, we're on the search for our neshamos. And as he finds tools to get him into this thing, he will find that there are paved roads there. And all kinds of people have been there before. And he's going to find help in all different kinds of ways. And there he starts to have trust and faith that he's going to be able to make his way through. And he starts getting in deeper and deeper and deeper into the palace and the search for the neshama. Ashrei, so he says, so happy as the person is able to get into this path and to be able to stroll through this path and travel in it, in a period, this whole period there. He says, so he came to a certain great palace, and there he saw that there was a king there, and the king had a crown on his head. And there were a lot of soldiers around Sham. And there were musicians all around. And he saw that this was a place of tremendous splendor. But the king, or anybody else that was there, asked him one thing. Ki be'emes kavar amar ha'chacham mikol adam because Shlomo HaMelech said in Koheles, rather. Gam hazeh la'umazeh asach elokim. You have to remember that God made against this, or what is it corresponding to this? He made that. So that God made Kedusha, he also made something that wasn't Kaddish. V'amar chamenu Kaddish, and the rabbi said in the Gemara Chagiga, Bar Tzadikim, Bar Rishayim. He made Tzadikim, he made bad people too. Bar Gan Eden, Bar Gehenim. He made a heaven, he made a hell. And so a lot like this, and we see that there's a king that's in Kedusha, who is this King of Kings. So in the same way that he made, there is a Melech Malchi Amlachim, so which we normally use the word HaKodesh Baruch Hu for this, which in previous shiurim, which I've mentioned that this word Kodesh Baruch Hu often or mostly always refers to the spiritual system called Zer Anpin. So Zer Anpin, if he made a king like that, which is Zer Anpin, he also made something on the other side, which is the Sar, the king, the master, that is the angel of Esav, who is known as the Samach Mem. Shemamena Yotzim Amalek, and all Amalek came out for that. And he prints that he pastes doubt in our brains. Shemachnes Sfekus v'Krivus ba'adam. He brings us doubts and cool. It makes us cold ideas. Ayesh Havaya b'Kirbeinu minayim. Is there a God amongst us or not? That's a doubt. So the same way that when we come close to Hashem, it's a tremendous amount of enjoyment and rejoicing. So that there is power, glory, and splendor and love in his place. You have the same thing when you go to the bars. Slip down. Sham yesh kol minis svekas v'chololo. So there's all different kinds of, what was that word? Krom yol kamine hefkeros, different kinds of abandonments. These are drugs, getting all different kinds of heavy things, sexual avers, and so on and so forth. So now he's there. No, he's in that place. Look who he's looking for his neshama. Af echad lo shalu klum, but he's in the bar room, let's say. Just use my metaphor. That's just my word that I'm choosing. Everybody has their own little place that they fall into. So he says the shalu klum, but nobody asked him a thing. Now use this phrase that he calls the nukva, which is really the word for female that we have, but he means a pit also. The big, deep pit. So it has a tremendous amount of mercy in order to get out of there. Because when a person falls into the deepest of the deepest, so it requires a tremendous amount of Rahmanis for the person not to have to stay there. So therefore the Melech, who is the Yetzer Hara, the Samach Mem, the Sitra Achra, the Satan, all the different kinds of names that we could apply to the side of that is really dishonest, selfish, and bad, doesn't bother him at all. He says, so none of them bother. They don't say anything to him. Because the moment that he finds himself amongst them, then they know that he'll never get out of it. Their trust that he'll never get out. Because on them it is said, all those that come to that place, they don't go backwards, and they don't reach the paths of life. So then it goes on. We have a little bit more time here. Let me see. We have a little more time. And he saw that there were tremendously good foods there. He said, so he stood up and he ate. So he went over into a corner and he wanted to watch and see what was going on. What's Rav Schick going to say about this? So he says, so he's found himself in the pit. He had to find his neshama, and he fell down all the way to this place. And now he's going to eat and drink. But what's he going to eat and drink? He's going to eat the Torah and Tefillah. He's going to start praying now. Even if a person has already fallen through the klipas on the other side. So, but even so, in that place, the place of our lives, the lowness of our lives, in that place itself, we have to also be able to pick up the food that we need to sustain ourselves, which is Torah and mitzvahs. Shehem Torah and mitzvahs ma'asim tovim. Ki rak zeh ma sheyishar memena, because that's the only thing that remain of a person when he's gone. Zeh ma sheyatzalo, so that's really what's going to save the person. Now you have to think about what he says is that the pattern of our lives is a circle also. And there could be success and there could be failure, but there could fall in moral ways as well. So that we could fall into a place where we can't get out, but then we realize that it is a possibility. We could start praying in that place. The Gevor of Amud Rabbeinu Zal, he says in Sichos Haran, so the fact that in this world there is mercy, there's such a thing as mercy. So he said, what does he mean? And for this reason, everybody runs after this world. Let's say a person comes out, he's hungry. He has no thirst. He's thirsty. He has nothing to eat, nothing to drink. Oh, that's very hard for the person. But then you can see there's a lot of rachmanas because he can find food to eat. He can find what to drink. Let's say he has no clothes. So there's a tremendous amount of rachmanas on that person. He can find clothing. He can build himself a shelter. But a person who has eyes, and he sees the rachmanis that people that actually happens in the next world. Because there you can see there are people who there's no rachmanis here. That there are people there who are naked and they can never find clothing. And it's not possible to have mercy upon them. So the person is naked or he doesn't have good clothing. And he's cold. But he could find something. You'll find something for him. There's people who have mercy on that. After the kabit the davos bravuro, so he could take in charity or do what else. Kafta and the beged elyon, so he could get the proper garments. But let's suppose that a person gets into the next world. He didn't do any Torah, he didn't do any mitzvahs, he didn't do anything. He after the rachem alav klal, kisham emuilim shum rachmanas, ye'ez malvush sarach, because what malvush does he really need? Although rak malvush Torah and mitzvahs, only the malvush of Torah and mitzvahs. Lezev emuilim shum rachmanas, so there's no rachmanas for the person, there's no mercy, because what you have in the next world is what you achieved in this world. But if a person can come to a true tzaddik, a person can actually show you a way, an easy way for you to acquire Torah and mitzvahs, so he can run to the tzaddik will teach him. So he can find some garment that he can cover himself with. There's a lot of people in the next world that have to stay outside. And they cry out with a bitter voice. Give us something to eat. And they come to him and they say to them, so he says, well, you have what to eat, you have what to drink, go ahead. No, we don't. We don't need the food like good steak that you had in this world. But what we need is the sustenance that we get from Torah and Avodah. So there are a lot of people who are naked who have to stay outside of the next world. And they're also crying very strongly. Give us something to cover ourselves with. So they come to him and they say, so they say, look, you got clothes. You came up with a tuxedo. That's not the kind of garments that we need at all. Rabbeinu Zal comes and he concludes and he says like this. Happy is the person who's able to eat so many chapters of Mishnah. Or say a little Tehillim after that. To say so many prakim of Tehillim. Mitzvahs, and to clothe themselves in these mitzvahs. So we saw Roy Mikol Zeh. Even if you find yourself stuck in the middle of your taivas, in the middle of the hold of the things that really keep you back in your anger, all the things that really bother you, you're so deeply involved in them, you can't get yourself out. Hamakom she'enu toiv, you're in a place that's not good, you're not happy. Gam sham yitpos ma'adanim ma'achilim toivim, but you know what you can do? You could just hold your place. When you're unhappy, pick up a Mishnah, pick up a Chumash, Pick up the 5 books of Moses. Pick up something, start praying. And that is a transformation. Don't fool yourself at all. That when a Jewish person starts saying Torah and Tefillah, even if he's got himself into a level, the matziv, that's not good. And we could all think of different kinds of things in our lives like that. That is all the. See, the idea of the klipos is the idea of your imagination. It looks like the truth, but it's not necessarily the truth. But we believe it, we act on it, and we live on it. Even if you're in that position, but the Torah itself refines a person and purifies a person, especially if he does it because he knows it will help. But that person in the end, if he continues on and keeps trying on it, he'll find his soul. Shira Bas Melech Shene Evda, which is the Bas Melech that was lost.